All right, this is the big one. Caleb Williams has committed to Oklahoma. We got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Tonight, Caleb Williams has committed to the 2021 recruiting class for the University of Oklahoma, giving it its first 247 Sports Composite 5-star in this class. He is also the number one quarterback in this class and the only top 10 prospect who is a quarterback in this class, coming out of Gonzaga College High School, where he blew up the world last year, passing for over 4,000, rushing for over 800, had a Hail Mary to win a championship, and has been consistently one of the better dual threat prospects of the last couple of years. He is the highest rated quarterback to come out of the DMV in a decade, DMV being DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And lately, that entire region has been putting out some outstanding talent, man. And Oklahoma continues to go there to try to win 4- and 5-star recruits. Parnell Motley a few years ago out of D.C. A couple years ago, Joseph Wette, who was teammates with Caleb Williams, working out with him during the COVID. And now, Caleb Williams, who is the Elite 11 MVP. And while that's controversial to some, you can't argue with the tape, which is what most of the MVP was based on. His junior film was crucial. That's Trent Dilfer saying it, and he runs Elite 11. Now, add to this, this is the second Elite 11 MVP that Oklahoma has earned a commitment from in the last 3 years. The other being Spencer Rattler, who we all believe is going to be the starting quarterback for Oklahoma in this 2020 season. His redshirt freshman season comes back 2021, which I believe is going to be Oklahoma's best opportunity to win a national championship since 2017. Now, this is where it gets hairy. When you look at the depth chart, it's Spencer Rattler or Tanner Mordecai, right, who's of the 2018 class. Then there's Chandler Morris at 2020. Now we're talking about Caleb Williams being added to that in January. And if that's the case, Caleb Williams would probably be the person most folks would pick to be the starting quarterback in 2022 as a redshirt freshman, because the way that quarterback recruiting has gone at Oklahoma, the odd year recruit has been in a pretty good way when we're talking about who gets the job. Going all the way back to Baker Mayfield when he got here, Kyler Murray when he got here, and then Chris Robinson when he got the boot from the 2017 class and he ends up at Florida Atlantic. And then we're talking about the 2016 class where Austin Kendall got the shaft, right? Because Lincoln Riley decided to go get Jalen Hurts out of the transfer portal for the 2019 season because he thought he needed him. And the way that we know that he thought he needed him was he said, I feel so good about Spencer Rattler and Tanner Mordecai that we did not need to go get a transfer. Yikes. Austin Kendall ends up at West Virginia. Now, for Williams, this means that you're going to be competing with likely Chandler Morris and whomever it is that comes through the 2022 class. Usually, 5-star quarterbacks do not like to follow 5-star quarterbacks in successive years, right? So the idea of Oklahoma landing a 5-star in the 2022 class, probably not as likely. That said, they did make a run at Bryce Young and really wanted him. And Bryce Young was down to Oklahoma and SC when he chose SC at the time, then flipped his commitment to Alabama, and now we all expect him to be competing with Mac Jones for the starting job at Alabama this season. That's how crucial these 5-star quarterback deals are. Now, it's not happened except once in the rankings era that we've seen a 5-star quarterback and a 4-star composite quarterback, both of those guys joining up in the same class. That be Jacoby Brissett and Jeff Driscoll. Driscoll being the 5-star, Brissett being the 4-star in 2010 at Florida. I know that there are Ohio State stands that somehow think that Jack Miller and C.J. Stroud accomplished this, but if you go check the 247 Sports Composite, you'll see that they're both 4-star quarterbacks, okay? So the rankings change how the rankings change. But at the end of the rankings, that's what we're basing this on. Because you had 5-star status does not mean you keep 5-star status. It's about how you finish, not how you end, which is the other thing to keep in mind about Caleb Williams as we head into what we hope is a fall football season without any hiccups. Elite 11 exposed Caleb Williams as being vulnerable for his number one spot. Barton Simmons goes on 247 Sports to say, look, when the rankings come out again, Caleb Williams will be the number one quarterback. But the gap between him and everybody else has closed because you're seeing just how talented the rest of this group is. Ty Thompson had a display. I'm sure he's going to skyrocket up the rankings. Brock Vandagriff apparently just looked the part and had a display. Kyle McCord had the best day of anybody on the pro days and has the strongest arm according to some. Demetrius Davis showed out. Tyler Macon showed everybody, I'm a quarterback, not a running back. Hello. And was out there just dropping bombs. Carlos Del Rio looks the part, is college ready. Kyron Drones showed out for a lot of people, looks the part, is college ready. I think Williams is going to have to show during his senior season why he's the number one quarterback to keep the number one spot, where he could have put some distance between himself and others at Elite 11. He just didn't. That said, anybody that Lincoln Riley wants to recruit, and that includes Brock Vandagriff, gets the benefit of the doubt in a way that nobody has got the benefit of the doubt at the quarterback position in some time, because we're talking about Spencer Rattler getting better Heisman odds than folks like Sam Ehlinger, who is got the most touchdowns responsible for of any quarterback returning in the 2020 season, because Lincoln Riley is his head coach and his play caller, because Lincoln Riley has two of the last three Heisman Trophy winners under his belt, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. And he's got the Heisman runner-up in Jalen Hurts, who he only had for a year. And he is the only coach, giving Oklahoma the only program, to see three consecutive quarterbacks drafted in the first two rounds of the NFL draft since the Common Draft era. That's dating back to the 60s when the AFL and the NFL merged together to create one draft. All of these things are important, and all of these things are ways in which we can wrap our minds around what Caleb Williams' commitment means for Oklahoma, right? Another way to wrap this around is to talk about who he plays with. If Kamar Wheaton decides to join up, that gives you 2 5-stars on the offensive side of the ball, a running back that you desperately need as well, because Jace McClellan was going to be in this class. He ends up flipping his commitment late to Alabama, where he's going to compete for playing time this year. Means that Oklahoma was down one running back that they wanted and ended up just going with Seth McGowan 2020 class. Kamar Wheaton helps you really mitigate that. Also helps with your ranking. And does that mean that Emeka Egbuka wants to join up with Oklahoma, knowing that the number one quarterback in the country is already committed to play there? And Egbuka and Williams apparently talk more than folks think that they do. The same thing with Mario Williams, who also is in this class, would be somebody that Williams is throwing balls to. You get another tight end type of player, though you got a really great one in Jalen Conyers. I'm still sitting on this interview that I want to give you guys a little bit later when the recruiting stuff just kind of slows down. But I think that's also going to be a big part of it. How does Bryce Foster take in the commitment of one Caleb Williams is also going to be really interesting. Savion Byrd, what does he do with this? LJ Johnson, what does he do with this? So Williams' commitment is going to ring out, and I expect to hear more dominoes fall because of the way that this has gone down. But there's a lot of pomp, a lot of circumstance around Caleb Williams and his recruitment, in large part because of it's connected to Oklahoma, but also because he's leaving Maryland. Mike Loxley thought he had him, thought he had a good shot at him, and he did, because Maryland got the last word. LSU kind of shot themselves in the foot with Garrett Nussmeier, but Garrett Nussmeier is an outstanding quarterback, so I don't know how much shooting in the foot that actually is. I just don't think they're going to get two quarterbacks in this class, and I think that it was stupid to think so. One, because Garrett Nussmeier is that good, and two, because they took two quarterbacks in the last cycle. They took Max Johnson and TJ Finley. It just didn't make any sense to take four quarterbacks in 2 years, unless you really think that the transfer portal is really going to be that rocking, in which case that it could be. It certainly could be. I just don't think that it would be. But we'll see what happens with the even class, or the even numbered class quarterbacks in Chandler Morris and Tanner Mordecai. But having Caleb Williams in the boat has to make Oklahoma fans feel good, has to make Lincoln Riley feel good, and now perhaps Oklahoma can get some real momentum going for its 2021 recruiting. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.